fun for them. Also, today, the story about the possibility that Texas and Oklahoma, according to a report in the Houston Chronicle, have reached out. That's the story, or at least that is where it is, to the SEC. Does that surprise us? Does it surprise either one? No, not at all. Those are two who could do that. They can. Why? Okay, give me two reasons, obvious, why.
Why they would want to?
Why would they want to go to the SEC besides the obvious? And money is not the answer. They have all the money they want, but yes, they would make even more. But what would be a couple other reasons?
Prestige by being affiliated with a conference that has more of it than the Big 12 does, but you're taking off the biggest reason why, which is the money. Like that's the driving factor in this more than anything else. Clearly, is the money. You're not going to be in a better position of power in another conference. You might be on the same level, but you'll be joined by more than just Oklahoma. You'll be joined by at least 3 to 4 other teams. So I don't know how that really advances your position in any way because you're about as strong as you're going to get sway-wise in the Big 12. But, yeah, it's the money, and I guess it's the teams that you could play. I saw somebody bring up, you'd play Auburn and Alabama rather than, K-State and Baylor or something. I mean, you're still, though, going to play Vanderbilt on occasion or Purdue or, there's still those versions of those same teams in other conferences. It's not like everybody's just stacked 1 to 16.
It's not Auburn with Cam Newton or even everybody has to. If there's 5 or 6 that are really, really good, then there's going to have to be 3 or 4 that aren't.
But it would be, a better schedule than the Oklahoma States and the K-States. At the same time, I don't know how the fans are making more money. It's just the school, so I never really get the bragging rights from fans about the money that the school has. And if anything, fans would lose money because they're going to have to travel a lot more. But, for the school itself, I mean, the attention, the TV rights, the money's the driving factor, just a shakeup. I mean, I see the reasons why. And, we'll see what happens.
Recruiting?
Is it, though? I mean, when it all comes
they're both annually among.
They're always top 10.
The
both
top
of them.
10. Even with UT the last decade having their ups and downs and struggles, they're still usually among the top 10.
Yeah, I don't see it at all. And
all right, we're going to take some calls. Text message here from the 208. If Oklahoma, Texas leave, what happens to the Big 12? Again, who knows? It might fall apart. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
I think it would be a situation where the remaining teams fold into other conferences, whatever those conferences would be, 2 here, 3 there, what have you. Or I think that they would go take apart the non-power fives and they would go grab a bunch of those teams. Now, what would be interesting in that scenario, though, is, instead of automatically going, just lap in the AAC, but if you're Baylor, if you're Texas Tech, whoever could potentially be left out by this, TCU as well. They might have options with other conferences, but let's say the Big 12 just hits reset, basically. I don't think you want SMU in the Big 12. I don't think you want Houston in the Big 12 because then you're just further diluting that pool. Now you're bringing those teams up to your level, and then a couple teams who you already were having trouble recruiting against are now on a higher level. I don't know that would be really good, but it may be, it just depends on what the options are.
All right, let's go. I got a lot of text messages as well. We'll get to those as well.
Yeah, Matt in Atlanta, you're on Sikkim 365 Radio. Thanks for your call.
What's going on, guys?
You're doing well. Thanks for your call.
Hey, man, I just want to let you know this comes from an Alabama fan over here. I think it'd be awesome for the SEC, for Texas and Oklahoma to come on in because for Baylor fans like you guys, it's helping y'all out because if y'all go undefeated, y'all are pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot, especially if they expand the playoffs to 12 teams.
If, in fact, the conference you're in is still a part of that mix, which it's supposed to be based, we have not yet had the expansion, so that could change everything on exactly who's involved, whether Power 5, Autonomy 5, or whatever else. First of all, thanks for your call. As an Alabama fan, we appreciate that. You guys are really, really good.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
No, I would say.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but it would come down to a question of, are they still looked and viewed at as a major conference, or would they be viewed at as an AAC or, someone along those lines? Because removing Texas and Oklahoma, that takes away, pretty much all your juice. I mean, it does. So I don't know how you would make up for that, and that's why I'm saying I think you either see just a complete splitting apart, like 3 schools go to the ACC or whatever happens, 2 go to the Pac-12, or they bring in, the Houstons, the SMUs, the UCFs, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I think it would just – it's hard to say without knowing what the actual landscape would look like, what the playoff even looks like at that point. You know what I mean? If there's these types of massive changes, then maybe 8's just the beginning, and then it, goes from there or stays as is. I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
Well, the thing about this is we were talking about this with the 12-team playoff. One of the things that the 12-team playoff was supposed was supposed to eliminate was this.
And we even discussed this a little bit.
Bob Bowlesby said it to us.
Yeah,
he said, I think
you would think it slows it down, or even almost mutes it. And here we are, less than a week later.
So it makes me I have several theories with this. Something tells me that in the expanded world of college athletics, as we're seeing now, Texas and Oklahoma are trying to use their juice to get something from the Big 12 that they don't have right now. And
what would that be?
That I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing, though. There's nothing they can give. They don't have any more money to give. They don't have any.
Do you think they want more of a percentage? Because that's not going to fly. I don't care if Kansas State and Baylor or Iowa State don't have that kind of clout. You're not going to do that.
So
you're not going to.
I don't know. I have no idea. But
it's at least a good scenario.
But that's what I'm thinking, because again, how does it benefit Texas to have been dyed in the wool? We're not doing this for so long because we have our own network and we're Texas and we do this, and then to go to the SEC where you will not be able to bully anybody like you bullied Nebraska out of the league. It won't happen. In the SEC, it's not the corporate structure of that league was not set up the same way. You can't copy Southwest Airlines because Herb Kelleher from the beginning set the way it was. And the SEC's been like this for a long time. The reason the Big 12 is always in flux is it was set up in flux. And
it was set up for a lot of reasons. Some of it was also panic. I mean, the Big 8 needed bigger footprint, the Southwest Conference was in a mess. And it has the Big 12 has always been like in the earthquake, like the San Andreas fault in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the thing about it is, and the reason why I'm not reacting real huge over this is because, for one, it's rumors right now, although I absolutely believe there is some stuff, there's some substance to this. There's no doubt. I think this is, something that's taken place, and I'm sure a lot of people are on their heels right now. But
it's been 2 hours, and it's not like you have to get everybody together to have a real they could have said something if it was nothing.
Well, there's been a lot of people that are giving no comments and non-denials. Even Sankey's not outright saying this isn't true. He's just saying, I'm not commenting on speculation. He said that now 2 or 3 times, and that's what pretty much everyone is saying is, I'm not saying it's no one's saying it's not true. Not a single person I've seen who has any meat to their words that would matter in this conversation is saying, oh, no, that's not true. They're all saying, oh, I'm not commenting on that, or we don't comment on speculation. So there's absolutely something to this. But, while I don't, because the money's not going in my pocket, see why fans go ape over, all the money that could be made elsewhere, that is a factor. And if you look at it in your Texas and Oklahoma, I can see how you could look around and go, we don't want to play with these kids in the sandbox anymore. We're kind of tired of this, and we want to go somewhere else and do something new. And look, with all the streaming rights and Amazon and all these different possibilities technology-wise, you add Texas and Oklahoma to a league that's already got all the other big same level type of names and brands. And, yeah, it's like a mini NFL. Now, is that attractive to people? For some, obviously, it would be. I don't know how much fun that'll be for some in the long run, but I can see the initial appeal to it. But, how does that look 10 years from now? Are those brands still the same caliber of brands? Because I see a lot of Oklahoma and Texas fans, and, it's fans, but a lot of them just assuming that, I've already seen several Oklahoma fans, and look, they're Oklahoma fans, so that's how they feel, but already we could go 10-2 in the SEC, and it's just, that's great to have that confidence, but I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that you're just going to keep doing what you've been doing over in another league. So, it's all very interesting, but I totally get it from their perspective, even if it's, not something that's going to, land in their fans' pockets as far as the money goes. But the streaming, the big time matchups, the traveling, the new locations, like I can see why a little change up would be of interest.
It gave Texas A&M a kick in the pants, although they have still not reached the level of winning the division title or playing for the SEC, but it's obviously entrenched them, and they feel pretty good. This also could be, is there a possibility? Man, they kind of left, and they really don't need us. And so let's kind of just upset things for a few days.
Yeah, I mean.
What do you mean?
But, well, A&M is highly ranked this year, and we know what happens with them when they have high expectations. The history's not good with that. So they are entrenched in the SEC. And do you just feel like there's like, wait a minute, we can't, they did leave. We want to get into that as well. We want to go into that as well. We want to be a part of that as well because they're having too much fun and too much power where they are, even if they haven't really won much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see.
And by the way, Oklahoma's going to win no matter if they're in the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC. Texas has to prove they can, and most likely in the end they probably will.
Yeah, but Oklahoma's not winning 8 straight conference titles.
No, they may not even win a division title.
Exactly,
on occasion.
And that's what I'm saying is like somebody's going to come down to reality. Like you're going to sacrifice the more money that again is not going into your actual pocket, and some maybe rivalries or whatever, but. Maybe it's worth it to lose 3 games a year, whereas you were just losing 1 or 2 because now you get to travel to Auburn instead of going to, Manhattan or something. I don't know. I mean, whatever the appeal is to each their own. But I don't think that Texas is looking at A&M and going, oh, well, we need to, or OU for that matter, and going like, oh, they're having too much fun. We got to be there. I just think that they've been teasing this for a decade now. They've clearly never been all in on the Big 12. They've just been that by contract, really more so than anything else. And they've been flirting with both of those schools for many years now. So, it's just I don't think it's necessarily A&M's having fun, but I do think they look at it and they go, wow, they are maybe having some big-time matchups that we could be having instead of, Bedlam or whatever. I mean, Oklahoma will still play Oklahoma State. You know what I'm saying? It's just – hey, yeah, that does look like it's fun. I don't think it's necessarily directly an A&M thing, but it's hey, we see what they're doing, and we could have just as much, return as them, if not more, because we're both bigger brands than they are. So, yeah, maybe there's some of that, but I don't think it's like a intentional A&M thing.
Yeah, let's go over some of these text messages and stuff. What? We want to bring a break here?
No, we do what you need to do.
Okay, let's just go to some of the texts. This is one.
I mean, we could come back with all these.
Yeah, huh?
We could come back with all these, so
we
don't have to worry about it.
We got a bunch on Twitter. We have a bunch on the text line, 254-339-1122. The call coming in, and we have a lot on YouTube. Some of you have calmed down. You've kind of taken a deep breath after getting a little personal. Hey, we want your feedback, but my God, have fun with this and enjoy it, and yet tell us what you think about what this could mean one way or the other. 254-339-1122. Sick 'em. 365 Radio.